This is part 2 and the last and final part. It will show all the steps, which includes all the epoxy steps. So the tray is completely dry, no glitter is falling. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix it up, and you guys have seen me mix the epoxy 1,000 times. You just do equal parts of A and B, and then you mix. And with faux Rizzle, the epoxy that I'm using, you mix it in the first bowl for 3 minutes, and then once that 3 minutes is up, you transfer it to a second bowl. And in that second bowl is where you would add any additives like mica powders or alcohol inks or your glitter, all of that kind of stuff. But I'm just adding it to the tray this time, so I'm not going to add anything once I mix it on the second part. Of course, this video is like in super speed, so you would not mix your epoxy super fast. This is me pouring it into the second bowl. I kind of actually did mix mine too fast. That's why I had so many air bubbles, but you'll see that I use my torch later to get the air bubbles out. So air bubbles don't really bother me for that reason. Like with everything, whenever I'm adding something to my tray, I always start with the middle first. Make sure the middle is good and coated, and I add enough in where I can pull it up to the sides. And that's what I'm doing now. I had a few air bubbles, so now I'm using my torch. So I add my decal after about 12 hours. It's no longer sticky using the resin that I use. Um, how long it's going to be before you can add your decal is going to depend on the resin that you use, because all resin doesn't like cure at the same rate. That is something that I've noticed using different resin. And I use my squeegee so that it gets a really good seal, so that when I do add the resin on top of it, because I do add one more coat on top of the vinyl, because you want it to be really smooth and you don't want the letters to be able to come up. So this is pretty permanent. Creating the ashtray and coaster to me is honestly the easiest part, because all you're doing is mixing your epoxy and adding your additives like your glitter or your alcohol ink, mica powders, etc., and then pouring it into the mold. I actually have a full video that's dedicated to this, so if you have more questions or you need to see a more detailed video, check out that video. Like I was saying earlier, with the faux Rizzle, you need to add your resin to a second bowl after 3 minutes of mixing. Then add your additives, which I added mica powder and glitter and a little alcohol ink, and then you mix for 3 more minutes. It looks so pretty once you pour it. And just a tip, after you pour it, check on it for about the first 10-15 minutes because air bubbles will be created and you just need to knock those out with heat. With the faux Rizzle, I can take it out the mold in about 6 to 7 hours, but like I said earlier, it will depend on the type of resin that you have. So now we're going on to making the jar. I use the Ball brand mason jars, but honestly you can use any jars that you like. I just tape them off so that I have a nice clean line. I spray paint them, and then I start with my Mod Podge and then my glitter. I only do one layer because typically I do spray paint them, and honestly it looks good with just one layer of glitter. I use the Spin-It from Michaels to add the resin, and unfortunately when I was doing this video I hit stop to do something, and so you don't see me actually completely add the resin. But if you want to watch my tumbler video, it's exactly like that in smaller form. I really love this Spin-It specifically for these jars and shot glasses. Like, it's really easy to do shot glasses and the storage jars. So this is the set. Beautiful, right? And so easy to make. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have anything else you want to see, please let me know. Make sure you subscribe, thumbs up, comment. Thank you.